Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do a full face using only e.l.f. cosmetics. Alright, so we are zoomed in a little bit more now. So obviously I've already done my eyebrows. I kinda used e.l.f. products. I've tried to use their eyebrow products before. I've tried to use the pomade. Today I used a little bit of the pencil and a little kit that they have, which I think one of them is like a wax or a pomade and then the other one is just a powder. So this is the powder right here. I think this one's a pomade and then the lighter shade is just a powder. The Ultra Precise brow pencil. So there's that right there. So this is a spoolie end and this is just your typical brow pencil. So I just used a little bit of them along with what I normally use for my eyebrows, and I tried to just use those products, and mainly because my eyebrows are kind of hard to match, I do them lighter than the actual hairs just so it matches my hair, but I do it lighter just so it matches the color of my hair better. But my actual eyebrow color is black. It's kind of hard to find like an in-between where it's dark enough but also light enough to where it matches this. So I used a little bit of the pomade just to kind of darken it up a little bit. Also used the brow pencil just for mainly the inner part to kind of start the line versus using my normal brow product that is the Anastasia Dip Brow. I really tried just to use e.l.f. products for the eyebrows, so this is what we have. Alright, so moving forward, I'm actually going to do my eyes first before I do the rest of my face, before I do foundation or anything like that. So I'm going to prime. I was going to say prep. A little bit of everything. So I'm going to prime my eyes using the e.l.f. So the e.l.f. 16, okay, I'm totally getting this wrong. 16-hour Camo Concealer. That is what this is called. And then I also have a damp beauty blender. Put a little bit there and a little bit on the outside. I always want to make sure that I get enough on my outer corner of my eyes because I do have just some darker pigmentation there. It won't go away completely. I also kind of have these little divots, so it kind of looks like I'm not completely blending out eyeshadow sometimes. I'm not really sure what it is. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's just like this little pocket sort of. So I want to make sure that I get concealer on the outer corner just to kind of try and even it out a little bit, at least the best that I can. So same thing. See, it's just like this part right here. Now that I'm covering it with concealer, you can't see it as much, but it does have like a natural little like dip right there. So a lot of the times product just kind of sits right here no matter how well I blend it. So sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time it does. There's that. Okay. So now that we have everything primed, I don't think I'm going to set it. I think we're just going to leave it like this and see how it goes. But I do have two different eyeshadow palettes from e.l.f. They are both on the newer side, maybe towards the end of last year, and then I think the other one came out this year. I believe this one's the newer one. It's the 18 Hit Wonders palette. We also have the Opposites Attract palette. Now this is the one that I think that came out first. So there's this one here. Probably going to be using from both of them. I know I'm going to use more of the purple and pink shades. So to be honest, I might actually use more from this colorful one rather than the other one, but we'll still dip into it just a little bit. Alright, so I think we're going to use this peachy shade as our transition color. It's called Cheeky. So just dip into that a little bit and then get the excess off of my brush. Let me get my little mirror here. That way I can see better. So just going to kind of lightly pat it in first, and then we'll start kind of circling it around. So just do it super light-handed. Make sure you bring it in. There we go. Let's just kind of try to get whatever is left on the brush. Just kind of work it in. You can always go back in with the shade later, which I know we're going to need to. Not super worried with the amount that's on the eyelid right now because we'll probably be going into it later. Kind of dust it right here. So this is the area that I have kind of problems with, kind of shadows and everything. Alright, over to the other eye. So just doing the same thing, just super lightly. Pat it on the outer corner and then try to bring it in. And make sure it covers and goes up towards the eyebrow. So one thing that I've been trying to do lately is to bring the color up more. I have really big eyeballs, so I don't really know how else to say it. I have really big eyes. So I'm trying to kind of maximize the space that I have just because I have a lot of it. Just kind of going back and forth. Okay, so this is a little light, but I'm not going to worry about it right now just because I'll probably be going back in with it later. So I am going to use darker shades, but let's see. I'm going to go into this kind of rosy, a darker rosy color. So this one right here. Actually, I'm not sure if that's the right way to describe it, but it's pinky, so we're going into this one. I'm just gonna go in with my finger first just to see how that applies and then go from there. It's not as metallic as I was hoping for. It's still pretty. And then we'll just probably try to apply it wet too, just to see what else we can do with it. Trying to buff that out because I am gonna go in with a different color on the outer corner. I'm doing this kind of in a weird, not order, I don't know, possibly order. So I'm gonna wipe my hand off first because I totally have a tendency of not doing that and then later forgetting that I had that. And then touching my face and getting it everywhere. I'm gonna not do that. Let me get a brush for this now. Actually, I think I want a different one than the one that I just picked up. Let's see what I have first. I guess we'll just go with this one. So I'm not gonna spend too much time going through the brushes. Most of the ones I'm using today are a part of a set that I just ordered from Amazon, so I'm also kind of trying those out too. And then I don't know if I actually explained it, but I just wet the brush, so now I'm going to try the same shade wet. It already looks much better. Now that the shadow is a little wet in the pan, I'm also going to just go back in with my finger. I don't know why, I just really prefer using my fingers, but I have a ton of brushes, and whenever it comes to shades like this, I always end up just using my fingers. Okay, cool. Again, wiping it off with my finger because it would end up on my face later. Like 100%. Alright, I'm just gonna take my finger again and just kind of buff that out. I'm not super worried with how that's looking right now. I know it doesn't look the cleanest, but I will be going in with a darker shade and then we can kind of make everything blend a little bit better. And then there's gonna be a lighter shade in the inner corner too. By step, I'm gonna do this on the other eye. Alright. So then for the outer corner, I want to use this darker purple shade, Velvet. And then just gonna try applying it with my finger first. That actually is making a really good combination, those two colors together. I'm gonna use the same brush I used with the other shade. Try to stick with my fingers now, actually. Take a brush. Alright. So I wet this brush too, and that's definitely taking the product off. So let's not do that. Going a little too ham. Just a little bit. And before I finish this, I'm gonna go into the pink shade. So this one here, Candy. So we're gonna take that and then blend in the purple and the more pink, because this is like a more like an iridescent sort of pink. It does have a little bit of a purple tinge, is that a word? Tint to it. It's like it's got a little bit of a purple shimmer to it. It's weird because this makes it look like an orange color, and it definitely isn't orange. So that's more of like an accurate kind of description. Continuing with that shade. That actually looks pretty. So going back in with that velvet color. Trying to see what other color I want to go in with for the inner corner. Just because I want to, I'm actually going to apply this with a Q-tip because I feel like with how the other shades have been applying, this might work a little bit better. Okay, that actually looks pretty too. Making sure everything looks good. I just need to pat more of that danger color in. Kind of have a nice little gradient going on, and then hopefully you can see it. So I'm taking a little bit of this Supreme color, and I'm gonna do just this outer part here to kind of help blend that velvet color. Taking a different brush, I'm going to go in with that original shade that I used. It's called Cheeky, I believe. And just kind of bringing it in here more. Alright, so now we're looking a little bit more blended than what we were looking like earlier. And again, just going back in with Cheeky. I want to go in with that velvet shade, so that darker purple, just to try to deepen it up a little bit more. And I am getting a little bit of fallout, but before what I just did, I wasn't really experiencing any fallout really. Add a little bit more. For some reason, when I tried to apply it wet, it did seem like it was getting removed. Like I was adding on top of it, and I don't know if the brush was too wet or what it was, but it felt like it was kind of just taking it off. I'm going to go into that candy shade with my finger and then kind of just add onto it. And I kind of wanted to see how it would apply wet, but also afraid that I might have the same effect where it kind of starts to get erased. So not gonna do that. So just going back in with that bold shade from the other palette. I'm gonna go back in with Danger. Just to kind of make this a little gradient of pinky purpley magic. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye off camera. Now that both eyes are even, we can finish up the face. I did use a little bit of this, so it's low-key from the Opposites Attract palette. It is like an off-white shade, at least that's what it appears to be in the pan, but it actually does have some sort of like iridescence to it as well. Let's see if you guys can see this a little bit better. So it's just like, it's right in there. So it's like, it looks like a pearly shade, but instead of having like more of a gold hint to it, it's purple. So I did that a little bit in the inner corner. So bold was in the inner corner a little bit more, so it's on top of that. And then also the brow bone area, so you can kind of see it a little bit more right in there. So move on to foundation. I'm going to use the Flawless Finish Foundation. It's this guy right here. I'm going to use the shade Vanilla. And I totally did this yesterday. For some reason with the cap, I always want to like twist it off and you just, that's it. Get a damp beauty blender. Let me clean off that swatch from my hand. So I do have my Wet n Wild Beauty Blender. I don't know why I always want to like say it differently. Like it's Beauty Blender, but like Beauty Blender sounds a lot better. Except it doesn't really sound good at all and it probably just sounds ridiculous. So Beauty Blender, it's a Wet n Wild one. It's alright. So yeah. Start with this amount here, kind of working it down my chin. I totally forgot to use a primer. I'm just now realizing that. So I did buy a primer. It's an oil control primer mist. Kind of, I guess once I finish with this side, I'll kind of just spray it. And then that way we can kind of get an idea of how it works. I don't know, so far I'm really liking this foundation. For some reason, I always want to like spray it out first. So like I know how intense it's going to be. If that really makes sense. I got the oil control mist because I am really oily. This is actually probably more like shine from like serums and stuff because I did do my skincare. I still am a little oily here and up in here. That's just natural. Alright, let's give this a try. Even though I already put foundation on this side, so hopefully it doesn't mess with what I've already done. Alright, I'm gonna just fan this off and just wait until I can finish applying the foundation. So now that that's all dry, finish up with the foundation here. Honestly, the thing that I deal with the most as far as face concerns, so obviously, yeah, I do run pretty oily, especially in the T-zone area, but the other concern that I have mainly is redness. I do have rosacea, so it does get kind of hard to find something that's going to cover it up. So far that looks pretty good. My rosacea in here is kind of hard to cover up anyways, and to be honest, I don't completely mind it just because it kind of like a natural like blush anyways, so whatever. So I'll just get my forehead now. And a fun thing about this concealer, foundation. So I had a lot of e.l.f. products already, and most of them, I mean almost all of the products that I had were stuff that I already purchased like recently. So a lot of it, majority of what I'm using today is newer products. I had to go to the store, I went to Target to get whatever else I needed to have a full face. Basically, I wasn't sure what shade to use because a lot of the shades that I would buy from, like, basically the whole lighter shade range was completely picked over, or they just, you know, haven't stocked it recently. So I had an option of the lightest shade, which I normally do, but I just felt like it was probably going to be a little too glow in the dark pale. And then I saw this shade, which in the bottle, to me, it looks pretty dark, at least from what I normally buy, especially now that it's winter and definitely haven't really been outside. So nice and pale, and I wasn't sure if this color would work, but I needed help, and I had those two shades, and there was this lady next to me, and she was standing there for a little bit, and I was like, you know what? We've been in the same area long enough where I feel like it's okay to be like, hey, can I get your opinion? So she said the darker shade, which is this one that I bought, and I think she did a really good job. So thank you, lady at Target. And she wasn't a worker or anything either, but she was just another lady shopping, and she was also looking at e.l.f. products for a while, so I thought I would ask her. So just take a little bit and then get the areas that I kind of feel like I missed. And I do have a little bit of, I don't know if you want to call it like a discoloration, but it is a little bit darker in here sometimes. It's good to cover that up. If I have anything left, kind of bring it down. I know a lot of people don't always bring their foundation all the way up under their eyes. Honestly, sometimes I don't, sometimes I do. It's just a give or take, I guess. Kind of brought it up a little bit more. But you don't need too much underneath there. And some people don't do any foundation underneath their eyes anyways. They just leave it to concealer. But I don't know, today I felt like it, so. I am still a little oily, so you do still see a little bit of my redness. But for the most part, I feel like this looks really good. And I've actually been wanting to try this foundation for a while. So for concealer, I'm going to use... Actually, I might want to do some eyeshadow under my eyes first. Yeah, we're going to do that first. And I wanted to use this periwinkle shade here. It's this here. Easygoing. So I'm going to do that under my eye. This is actually an e.l.f. blending brush. But today we're going to use this under my eye because I feel like it. So I'm just putting it under the lash line. Actually, I think I might want to go in on a different brush and see what that brings me. But so far it's looking good. Let's try this a little bit more. These shades I'm always kind of hesitant to use because they can turn from pretty to you look like you fell like down the stairs. Or didn't sleep at all. Maybe I didn't sleep at all. I don't know. Then I'm actually just going to use that same shade and bring it into my waterline. I don't know. I don't have any extra product or anything on here, but sometimes I feel like I'm getting a little hot. Just kind of like pressing in with the Beauty Blender until I have chance to go in with powder, which I definitely will be doing. I'm not the best when it comes to doing the colors under my eyes. Some people are really good and some people just, I don't know. It doesn't look too bad. I'm just not used to bringing it down so far, and some people I feel like they can do it like really, really far down and completely cover like their whole entire eye bag, and I feel like when I do it, it just doesn't look the same. Okay, so going back in with the 16-hour Camo Concealer. And I don't think I said earlier, but I'm using the shade Light Sand. And I feel like I've heard this concealer being compared to Tarte Shape Tape, which honestly, I do kind of see it. I feel like they both have pretty full coverage. I liked Shape Tape for the longest time, but I actually like this one better. I just feel like it's a little bit lighter as far as consistency goes. I felt like with Shape Tape, it just really felt really thick. And obviously, like, I feel like it covered a lot, but I just felt like it was just so thick. To the point where I think that's the reason why I stopped using it, is just because it just felt like too much. Where I feel like this concealer is really close to it, but it's got a more lighter feel to it, which is nice. But yeah, I think it covers pretty well. Then I'm just gonna get the normal areas. So I get in a little bit here on my nose, my chin. I'm gonna start with those and then go into some other areas. The next thing will be any of the leftover redness that I have, but it does look like it's been covered pretty well. Alright, so that looks pretty good. So I do want to use it a little bit more in here. Any darker spots. Then I'll do my forehead after. Not bad. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm basically just getting my eyes ready for falsies. I'm just gonna do a little bit of their eyeliner. The pen eyeliner, and it's just in black. I don't know what this is called specifically. That's how the tip looks. I really like pen eyeliners. I've used the Tattoo Liner by Kat Von D forever, and I'm just trying to find a replacement for it, which is hard because I really like the application of it. So it's been hard to find a replacement, but I think it's time to find a new eyeliner. Alright, so I'm just gonna do like a little line, that way I can put the falsies on. I always like to do a little bit of eyeliner. It just feels incomplete when I don't do it, so probably won't do a wing or anything, but we'll see, because sometimes you get to that point and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. Alright, not bad. I've never used this eyeliner from them, and I actually really like it. We used one that was like a brush tip, which I didn't really care for, but I don't think it had anything to do with the product itself. I just don't usually like using that kind of eyeliner. I've been using the Kat Von D one for so long that I need an applicator like that. It's so much easier. And from what I can see, this actually looks pretty matte too. Alright, so I'm going to put lashes on. I'm not the best when it comes to lashes. It takes me a little bit longer, so we're gonna stop and then I will come back and finish everything. So eyelashes are on, so we're gonna do blush, bronzer, and highlight. Oh, also I did use a little bit of mascara. Obviously I have falsies on, so I didn't really use that much. Mainly on the bottom lashes and then just a little bit with the falsies. I used their Length and Volume mascara. So it's this one, that one right there. There's the brush right there. I don't really have a firm opinion or anything on it right now. I really barely used it. I think I've used it before and I remember liking it. I would really have to try it without falsies to kind of have a better opinion about it. I did set my under eyes too, just because why not? So okay, and then I'm also using one of their newer blushes. It's a Primer-Infused blush. I think I need to get a little more of that off, just in case. This one is in Always Cheeky. This, let's see, that one right there. I think they have another one, and they also have bronzers of this formula too. I'm not 100% sold on this color. I have used it before, but I'm just going to use a little bit. I don't tend to use a lot of blush just because I'm really naturally kind of blush. Naturally kind of rosy, so I do have another blush of theirs, and I'm going to try using it with a beauty blender. I do believe this one's new too. A lot of their packaging doesn't seem to have the description of what exactly it is. I guess you would call it a cream blush. So there you go. And it's in Soft Rose, I believe. I think that's what I said. I'm just going to take a little bit with my beauty blender and see how that works. I think I've used it with a beauty blender before. I'm going to take whatever was left on my brush from the other one. If you're using a different brush, I'm going to go into one of their bronzer palettes. One is Bronzed Beauty. And this one right here. They're all fairly light. That might be too much. One of the powders. It's just a normal powder. I've actually had this one for a while. I guess it's a finishing powder. But let's see. So it's in Fair and Light. It's just that one right there. So before I get to the overly bronzed cheekbones, I'm just gonna kind of try to take away from the oil right here. Honestly, don't want to look super matte. Dewy's in anyways, so you know. I'm just naturally dewy. And by dewy I mean sweaty, but you know. Sweaty, oily, same thing, honestly, to me though. Okay, just try to cover the crazy. Oh god. Okay. Okay, so for highlighter, I'm going to use the Shimmer highlighting powder. This is in Pearl Glow. So I do normally use more pearl highlighting shades. Just a dry application and see where that takes me. Little bit of my nose. Interested in seeing how this would look wet. So just spray a little bit, a little bit on my brush. I don't want to do super drastic right now. Alright, that looks good. I actually really do like this highlighter. And it is one of the newer products that I've tried too. They have a newer highlighter that I was going to try. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but I know it's one of their newer products. I think it might be a Walmart thing or maybe an online thing, but I just wanted to stick with Target. So for lips, I also had this product for a while. It's not a new product that I bought, but it is one of my favorite lip products. This is one of their liquid matte lipsticks, and it's in Blushing Rose. I do really like this one and the praline one too, and I think they have really nice formulas. They don't last forever. Like if you were to eat or anything, they probably come off, but so I feel like with the ones that don't budge, that's actually decently close to my natural lip color too, which is nice. The ones that don't budge usually start to flake and are just really heavy. A couple years ago, I would have been like, yes. Like, if it moves, I'll be super unhappy. I don't want that to happen. But now it's like, honestly, it's whatever. If it's more comfortable, then I like it better. Oh, it looks like I need to just apply a little bit more. Alright. Not bad. It's a little extra highlight. Alright, so this is the finished look. I used everything from, well, not everything from e.l.f. Everything I used today was from e.l.f. Cosmetics. Like I said earlier, some of the stuff I already owned. A lot of the stuff was newer stuff that I bought specifically so I can just try out more of their range of products. I actually really like how this came out. I don't know if you can really see the gradient of colors. So the more purple, and of course they're all mainly, all of the shades are mainly more pink toned, but I really like the gradient of them. I am starting to see a little bit of creasing. Honestly, probably was because I didn't set the eyes, but you know, it is what it is. Overall, I'm really happy with how everything looks. I do really like their products, so I'm kind of biased. The eyeshadow palettes do take a little more time to work with, and maybe it's just me, so I don't want to say like, oh, it's not good, don't buy them. I do think they're good, and I do like the range of colors, but if I don't think I'll grab them every single day, just because I do think that some of the colors need a little more patience, and I'm not always patient, so. But overall, I mean, the colors and everything and the price, you really can't beat them, so it's nice. Yeah, I really actually like this eye combination. Alright, so this is the finished look. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure that you subscribe and like this video, and I will see you next time.